Hello super friends and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And in today's video we're going to be discussing a particular subject that has been going on in Arrow Season 6 and seems to be continuing on for the near future, and that is Team Arrow being divided, and more specifically, how long will it stay split for? This is a very interesting topic and easily the most interesting thing going on in Arrow at the moment, so let's discuss. So we've just had Season 6, Episode 10, which was entitled Divided, and overall I think it was a very strong, solid episode of Arrow. It's not the best, it's not amazing, but it definitely is the best episode we've had in a while, and I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff in it. That amazing action sequence where Green Arrow is just taking on everyone at once was fantastic. It was really great. All the villains just culminating together there was awesome. Ricardo Diaz got so much time to shine, and I really loved Quentin Lance. It was a really good episode over the whole. Now, if you saw the mid-season finale, then you will know that Team Arrow was divided down the middle when Renee was revealed to be the one who had betrayed Oliver, and with that, Oliver treated him pretty badly for it, which caused Dinah and Curtis to also leave the team, leaving us with the OG Team Arrow of Oliver, Diggle, and Felicity. Now, one thing I love is that this storyline is carrying over more than one episode, because most of the shows don't tend to do this. If they have a big thing, it only lasts one episode, but this is lasting more than one episode, and I love that. This storyline continued into episode 10 of the season, which aired, of course, last night, which was Divided, and now we know that they're going to be split in episode 11 as well. If you look at the promo for episode 11, you can see they are still divided, and that is awesome. And I quite like the idea that we saw in episode 10, which is that we now have two Team Arrows. We have Oliver, Diggle, and Felicity on one side, and then we have Curtis, Diggle, and Dinah on the other. Or Curtis, Renee, and Dinah, sorry. And I really like this idea of these two conflicting teams who ultimately have the same goal, but just don't want to work with each other anymore. So the main point of discussion for this episode is how long are they going to stay divided for? Because obviously you can't have Arrow and not have the team. That's, it's a very team-based ensemble show. I believe they are going to be split for at least 3 more episodes. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but I am going to go in more in depth in that in the next little bit here. But I think 3 episodes at least, because that seems to be the typical type of arc length in these shows, considering how big they are. So it's kind of, I feel that would fit appropriately for Arrow. However, my main prediction is actually a bit more further afield, which is that I believe it's going to be around episode 18 or 19 where the team finally comes together. And I have a couple of reasons for this, which I'll go into in a second. But obviously, if you look, we only have Oliver, Diggle, and Felicity. They're going to need help to take down Caden James and the Criminal Cabal. So they're not going to be able, we saw that Felicity, she's not a vigilante. Diggle's going to get back into it now. But then Oliver, so that's just Oliver and Diggle. They are extremely outmatched in this scenario. Now, yeah, of course, you have Renee, Dinah, and Curtis who are going to be doing their own thing, and they're going to be there, but they're not going to be working with them, and are perhaps going to have their own goals, slightly different goals, and how they're going to be taking on Caden James. So Oliver and Diggle are going to be extremely outmatched when they're going up against the Cabal, which is obviously full of Anatoly. You've got Black Siren, you've got Ricardo Diaz, you've got Caden James, you've got Boots, you've got all these people, you've got Vigilante, all these different people. They are extremely outmatched, so therefore, I feel it could be around episode 19 where they come back together. Now, I say this specifically because we do know it was confirmed a few weeks ago that the character of Roy Harper, aka Arsenal, is coming back to Arrow for Season 6, and he's coming back in episode 15, and is going to stay on the show till around episode 18, which this is a big indication that perhaps the team will still be split at this point, and Oliver realizes, right, we need to bring some people in, people who I can trust, who I know I can trust, so he brings in Roy, and I feel this is definitely going to be, this is a big hint, I think, for this storyline going forward. Plus, of course, if you saw what went down throughout the early seasons of Arrow, and of course mainly the finale of Arrow Season 3, you will know that Oliver has massive amounts of respect for Roy, considering what he did for him, and also we know that he can trust him, and they work together in Season 4 again, so it's just going to be a good way to say, right, if we need support, who can we trust? Let's get Roy back. And we know that Roy is definitely coming back, so this is definitely going to be a good way to bring him back in, and I feel that this does hint the fact that they may still be split up at this point. What about Thea, though? I feel that perhaps Oliver, he did actually have an interaction with Thea in episode 10 where they kind of discuss Thea being back and how she's saying, I know I can't help you out in the field, but I want to help you anyway. And that did kind of annoy me. I don't really see why Thea can't suit up at the minute. There's no real reason for it. But maybe she could. Maybe when Roy comes back, maybe she might get the motivation to do so. We have seen Thea and Roy interact on social media, on Colton Haynes' Instagram, so we could be getting some stuff with Thea, but honestly, I do doubt it. Now, in terms of other people Oliver could recruit to come back to help him, there is another candidate, and that is Rory Regan, because Rory, of course, we do know, is still there. He's still in the Arrowverse. He's still alive. He's still there. And perhaps by this point his rags would have recovered so he can come back. Because obviously I've been pining for Ragman to come back to Arrow for so long. I wanted him to come back on Legends. But I feel this is the perfect opportunity. Again, Oliver, he needs help. He needs members on the team. Bring back Rory. He's great. A thing I absolutely loved about Ragman on Arrow Season 5 was the fact that Oliver and Rory, they had this really great mutual respect for each other. And you could see that, because Rory wasn't like the other recruits. He wasn't inexperienced, he wasn't immature, or he wasn't a cliche. He was a hero in his own right, and he knew what he was doing. And you could see that Oliver and Rory, they had this respect for each other, and they always had that level-headed opinion of each other. And I loved that relationship, so I'd love to see that, the fact that Oliver, he does trust this guy, and he could easily bring him back. Now, this whole split storyline, I believe, is going to go somewhere, and it's going to go in a darker direction. I feel that this is the perfect setup for one of these characters, one of these newbie Team Arrow members, to be killed off, and it's just kind of deciphering who. I think the obvious choices are going to be Renee or Dinah, and I feel that one of them is going in that direction, especially Renee. I don't think Dinah's going to die. I feel Dinah's going to get close to dying, and then Vigilante is going to die saving her. It's going to be that. So with that said, I do believe that Renee is going to be on a death path this season now. I feel that, what happened between him and Oliver in the mid-season finale is setting up this idea that perhaps in the finale or around the finale, we're going to have a big battle with both Team Arrows and potentially new members against the Cabal, and Oliver is going to be in a very dangerous situation, perhaps almost clinging on to his life, and Renee is going to take a bullet. I feel that Renee is going to die for Oliver, and that will bring everything back. This will kind of bring everything full circle, especially for Renee Ramirez, because, of course, everything that's happened in this season, him and Oliver, they never started out well together in Season 5, and then they kind of built this trust, and then in Season 6, that trust was broken again. So to have Renee kind of complete that full circle of a character arc and come back and be killed for Oliver, that's going to bring everything back full circle, like I say, and I think that's going to be the perfect way to get Renee off the show, because I feel he is going off the show anyway. So what do you guys think about Team Arrow being split? How long do you think they're going to be split for? Do you think we're going to get some new members on Team Arrow, some recurring members? In episode 10, they did name drop the Huntress, so maybe Huntress could be coming back this season. That would be pretty cool. Maybe she could help Oliver out. But there's plenty of cool things that could come from this storyline, and like I say, I think this is the most interesting thing going on in Arrow, besides maybe Ricardo Diaz. So tell me what you guys think about this. Tell me what you think. Tell me how long you think it's going to last, and let's get a discussion going about this topic in the comment section down below. So thank you guys for watching this episode of DC TV Talk. As always, please leave a like, it will help me out a lot. And again, tell me in the comment section below what you think about today's topic. And make sure you share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV and get them to join the community. I think that Arrow is definitely heading in a better direction based on this episode, and I feel the back half is going to be a lot stronger than the first half, and hopefully that's true because it really has to live up to what Season 5 gave us. So I have hope for Arrow, but it's optimistic.